Target 7 told you how the state is spending nearly $500,000 to investigate what they call irregularities in the insurance fraud fund, and that cost could grow to nearly $1 million.
Insurance companies pay into this fund so state officials can investigate insurance fraud. Tonight, in a Target 7 investigation, Jason McNabb is learning more about what these irregularities are.
Both Roberta Baca and Kevin Friesen worked here, the Office of the Superintendent of Insurance. They worked in the law enforcement division, and they both say they found discrepancies in how the insurance fraud fund is handled.
In order to stop false claims, the state charges insurance companies fees to help fund their investigations.
The law enforcement branch of the Superintendent of Insurance office does have the ability to make arrests, take cases to court like any other police agency.
A budget is sent to the legislature, and the state's office of the superintendent then charges fees based on that amount.
Sometimes the legislature says, no, your budget is going to be $3.1 million. Please collect $3.1 million.
These two employees claim something was wrong. This is Roberta Baca.
We do have irregularities and that there are issues. We've been fighting as a division for the last decade to fix those irregularities.
She says that there was not a system in place that determined what each insurance company should be paying. She says as a result, some overpaid and some underpaid.
Were they being overcharged or undercharged?
Throughout the years, probably a little bit of both.
This is Kevin Friesen, and he says Baca was collecting more than what the legislature had approved.
It was set at over $3.3 million, and that's about $1 million over what had been approved for that fund.
Tom Grover is Friesen's attorney.
That change had been arbitrarily made, and that was inconsistent with what Kevin understood as being with existing guidelines and existing allocations.
Grover claims after his client alerted his superiors of the discrepancies, he was placed on administrative leave by Baca.
What was the reason he was given for being put on leave?
We don't know. It was never articulated. It's not like he had an episode at the office or anything. In fact, he was a high-performing employee.
Just recently, after Grover had discussions with the OSI's legal counsel, Friesen was brought back and Baca was put on leave. At the same time, the state hired an outside firm to investigate. Target 7 obtained the work orders and have discovered that the cost to hire the outside firm could exceed $900,000. Baca, meanwhile, refutes Friesen's claims.
Do you believe that Kevin's reporting to the superintendent had any merit?
I think there's evidence to contradict what he's saying.
Baca filed multiple lawsuits alleging the agency retaliated against her because she blew the whistle on how insurance companies pay into the fund and how that money was being spent.
I did try to address them internally with OSI leadership, and unfortunately, we just came to a point where we needed to have the courts decide some of the issues.
What's unusual about this is it's actually coming from within the office. It's one of the high-ranking division leaders claiming that there is significant misconduct in the state insurance and superintendent's office.
KOAT's legal expert John Day says this is a unique case with a lot to sort out.
Those kind of claims have to be proved up in court, but there's a long list of allegations, and it depends on how far the person bringing the lawsuit, how they can prove up those allegations. Do they have proof? Do they have evidence? And what's the response going to be from the state?
Officials with the superintendent's office would not do an interview. They said over the phone that there is no evidence of missing money. For Target 7, I'm Jason McNabb.